folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Folks, I've got a wild one for you today. I want to talk about the Galaxy Guide number 1 by West End Games. Yes, I know I have reviewed this previously, in my vague overview of all the West End games, but I wanted to focus on just the first one because it did have a lot of very short, brief stories that I do want to address that happened during the time of A New Hope. Now, they were all written by Grant Boucher, or at least most of them were, and I'm just going to name them off and give you the brief synopsis of each one. The first one is called Artoo's Tale. Now, in this one, R2-D2 is recounting his time on Tatooine during the adventures of Episode 1 to rebel historian Voren Nyal. And it's really funny because in between, 3PO is interrupting him and trying to correct his story. It's fantastically good. I remember when I first got these West End Game Galaxy guides, I got them all in one big group on eBay. I opened up the first one and thoroughly enjoyed a lot of the short stories in it, and Artoo's Tale was actually pretty funny. The next one after that was The One That Got Away. It's a very short story involving Jodo Kast. Oh, that's right, we haven't talked about Jodo Kast that much, have we? He's the one that kind of impersonates Boba Fett in the West End Games universe, who also bled into the Dark Horse comics from time to time. And he's recounting a story where he almost caught Dr. Evanson. Remember Dr. Evanson's the guy with a nose that's kind of upturned in the cantina? And he's wanted, And of course, Jodo Kast tries to collect on the bounty and just misses getting him. The next one is called Tattoine Debriefing. Now, this one wasn't written by Grant Boucher. It was written by Michael Stern. And this one brings back rebel historian Voren Nyal as he's listening to an audio recording from a stormtrooper helmet of their searching for the droids. Now, it doesn't contradict with tales from Mos Eisley. It's basically their own, it's a different stormtrooper. It's a different separate story about how they were looking for the droids, since there were several stormtroopers looking for the droids. So it doesn't contradict or anything like that, but it is neat. It's also neat that we have that same little rebel historian character come back. West End Games was really good about reusing some of their characters that were just for one-offs here and there and bring them into short stories every once in a while. Now, the next one was, and these other ones are written by Grant Boucher as well. The one's called Double Vision. It's hilarious. It's Han Solo playing a prank on Lando Calrissian and having him date the Tonica sisters, but not telling him they're twins. So he's like switching them out and everything. And it's just a little joke that Han plays on Lando, not much else than that. Now, chronologically, this one's placed right here, but to me it doesn't make much sense because it seems like this should have happened, months or even years ago before the whole Lando-Han split. But maybe they're saying, well, that couldn't have happened now. So I don't know why it's actually put right here in a lot of the timelines. In fact, when I was looking through the Galaxy Guide, I picked it up and I just wanted to talk about it since I didn't earlier. I didn't realize there was something that could have happened before A New Hope. But anyway, there it is. The story's called Double Vision. The next one is called Dodonna's Story, and basically you're just reading an excerpt from his journal, and he's talking about it's the night before the Death Star comes, and so he's talking about what his plan will be and kind of putting out his theory of how they can take on a Death Star and what they can do to stop it, because the odds were, heavily favored against them on winning. So that was kind of neat to kind of see the journal of a military mind like Dodonna right before the battle. Another one that's kind of first person as well, and kind of sad, is called The Letter Home, and it's about a letter being delivered to a mother whose son was in the Battle of Yavin. Why could I not remember that? Anyway, so she reads this letter and he's about to go to battle, and it's basically a Dear Mom letter. Something sad, but realistic, because that kind of stuff happened in, World War I and II all the time. So that was another good one. And the last one is called Life in a Jawa Sandcrawler. And this one basically stars QT3PO. He was one of the various droids that was in the Sandcrawler in A New Hope. And he basically recounts his story of how he got there and how he got out. And actually, that's a really interesting story. And that's one of the things West End Games also did, is they took pieces from the movies and expanded on people's background. Not just the people in the cantina, but also other little people like droids in the background shot of, A New Hope. And that was really cool. Again, West End Games' attention to detail is another great reason of why they were so good at making their role-playing books. Anyway, folks, that's all the time I have for now. See you next time with another video.